Hello everybody and welcome to the first official episode of the Steel City Voxcast. My name is Tom, and although this is the first official episode, it's a rather different one today. Today me and Swifthand travel to Stockport for the Toy Soldier GT, and we report back on our findings from that. We did record in the car to save time, so there are a few issues of sound quality. However, this is a one-off episode, so apologies for that, and it won't be as terrible in future, hopefully. That's about all for today, apart from to say if you are interested in getting involved and perhaps doing some recording with us occasionally from time to time, you are more than welcome. Please contact me at Tom Layton, spelt Leighton, 93, as in numbers, not letters, at gmail.com. And we'd love to have you along. We record on a bi-weekly basis, once every other week, and it'll be great to see you. Okay, so enjoy. Hi there, this is Tom from Steel City Voxcast, and we are somewhere along the A623 heading to Stockport for the Toy Soldier tournament, and I'm here with Swifthand, and he is taking Space Wolf of Grey Knight's allies. So,
Swift in hands, not
exactly. Well, not all the list. Yeah. So if you could just quickly, it's an 1850 point tournament, no forge roll allowed, so what are you taking there, Swifthand?
Okay then, I'm taking Space Wolves with Grey Knight allies, core of 2 troops, 2 rune priests, 3 long fangs, then with some allies, Grey Knight allies, 2 henchman troops, because I've got courtiers, Dread Knight, we're kitted out, so it's got teleport indeed, and that's the essence of my 1850 army. Apart from, I have Wolfguard as well, which is supporting my troops, and my 3 long fangs, which are 2 squads of 5 missile launchers, and a squad of 5 las cannons with a Wolfguard leader. Okay, now of course you got the 2 rune priests. Yes.
What made you go for Terminator armor over runic armor?
Right, well, 2 reasons. One, I'm not drop podding or putting him in any vehicles. And of course, I get a 5-up invulnerable save against anything other than the runic armor, which only gives you 5-up against psychic powers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. And you're not chasing things down too often either.
No, not really. And it's worth it for that extra survivability. So, yeah, I would. Obviously, runic armor has its own benefits, but generally speaking, I have found over time that I'll get hit with an AP2 weapon, and I find that I haven't got an invulnerable save for it. So, yeah, I just think at the moment I'm leaning towards Terminator armor, and without the opportunity to actually chase down. But I tend to run my 2 troops close together, so if I'm going to charge somebody with the aspect of entering CNC, I'll do it with the one with the out of the rune priest, and then obviously I can chase down.
Yeah, that's definitely a good idea, because you are packing a lot of plasma and a lot of melta in those 2 squads, so you are capable of just ripping through squads if you really need to.
Yes, I generally hope, if we're looking at some vanilla Marines, 10 Marines, with my Grey Hunter squad, I tend to hope that I'll at least get 3 invuln saves on them. Then in CNC, if I take out another 3, I've really taken the squad down, and then take him out on the opponent's phase.
Yeah.
So there's not much need to run them down. It's different when you're facing a squad of 30 orcs, but
yeah, well, they're fearless anyway most of the time, so it's not really too much of a problem. That's on the Space Wolf side, really. You obviously have the 3 packs of long fangs.
yes.
Quite popular in Space Wolf armies.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's considered spammy.
It's a tournament.
Exactly.
Okay.
Well, one, we're at a tournament.
Yeah.
Secondly, though, it makes your opponent think about target priority.
Yeah.
If I've got 3 long fang squads, the enemy is going to be reconsidering moving things out in the open too easily. So assaulty armies don't tend to charge me too quickly. Also, I tend to flank with missiles and last cannons are central. So I've got enough AP weaponry there to really take down quite a lot of things.
Yeah. So, what made you go for the full last cannon battery on the first squad as opposed to missile launch? It's quite spendy, isn't it?
Yo, it's extremely expensive.
Over 200 points, is it?
Oh yeah. It's you're talking 15 points a head anyway, 6 heads, and then 25 points a last cannon.
215 points, isn't it?
Yeah, thereabouts. So it's an extremely expensive army. I could get a Land Raider for that, nearly. The reason why is because I always run a Rune Priest with them, with Prescience, giving them 5 shots at rerolls, which is my answer to Helldrakes and Flyers.
Yep.
I have thought about an Aegis, but for example, if you combine a missile squad, which I believe for full out kitted out squad is 140 points, if you take in your Aegis gun, which is it 70?
50 points for the quad
50.
gun on top of the Aegis.
You're only talking 30 points dearer, and then you've got a last cannon squad anyway.
Yeah.
And let's face it, 5 last cannons re-rolling hits is far better than a quad gun.
It depends what's manning with quad gun, but yeah.
No, that's true.
Yeah. If you're hitting things, then you're definitely doing more damage, but you're just hitting the things that's causing you the problem.
Yes.
You should get about a couple of hits, though, so. Right. Now, obviously you've gone for Grey Knight allies. It's very common with Space Wolf players to go for allies. What made you go for Grey Knights?
Right, well, other than the Wolf Lord, Grey Knights, Space Wolves lack a singular creature or unit that is a hard hitter in close combat that can charge a squad of vanilla marines or anything and tie them up, or indeed take out monsters themselves or tanks. After looking for quite a long time, and I even considered Dark Eldar, which would be distrusted allies. So not distrusted, distrusted allies.
Yeah.
So that went out the window. But I went with Grey Knights because I wanted a Dread Knight to zip around, and although Dread Knights aren't, it's debatable, but you could say that they're nowhere near as good as a Greater Demon. They have their own abilities and their own knacks. Certainly strength 10, reroll hits, reroll wounds, reroll armor pen's nice.
Yeah.
And a teleport 30 inch is brilliant on last turns for denying. And of course you've got your strength 6, AP 4, ignore cover template, which is beautiful for taking out people in ages.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say that he's necessarily not as good as a Greater Demon.
Just different.
Yeah, completely different role. I
Yeah.
mean, he's a bit more shooty. He just jumps across the board, burns off a squad, contests an objective, bam.
Yeah. So he has his own. He has his own thing, but with toughness 6, 4 wounds, invulnerable save 5. But the reason why I took Grey Knights is two score. Is one, I wanted a hard hitter, other than my Wolf Lord, because it attracts so much attention and it's very unreliable. And the other thing, of course, was my henchwomen with courtiers. Even though I have 5 AP2 last cannons, I thought what I want is some blast templates in there as well. Now, if you were to buy a bare bones unit of psychers in henchwomen, it'd be 50 points for 5. It'd give me a strength 7 AP2 large blast template. Chuck along some acolytes for wound allocation and some crusaders for some AP3 invulnerable saves. Anyway, free
some tanking ability.
Yeah, exactly. 2 squads of them with courtiers in one, with prescience, and if I'm so lucky to get ignore cover on maybe psychic power, it makes it a nasty combo.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a surprise squad because it's not very common on the tournament scene. I certainly hadn't seen one before you played it, but it's actually a really good squad. I mean, it took me by surprise, and then you got that large blast AP2 weapon, and that just wrecks stuff again. mean, you're definitely packing a lot of AP2 in there. But just before we move on to the actual event itself that we're going away to, what does Kotias do for you? Because I know he comes with a big ass bag of tricks.
Oh yes, there's a few nifty things. I mean, bearing in mind, okay, he is 100 points, but he's well worth it.
Yeah.
You've got the I've been expecting you rule, so you don't get anybody who's trying to infiltrate to take him out.
So what does that do, sir?
That I think it's 12. I'd have to double check, but 12 or 18 inch. Basically, if somebody infiltrates near him, you get a free shooting attack at him.
Yeah.
So a free psychic blast. Yeah, anybody around you. And the other thing is which is quite nifty, is if you lose your initial roll off, you get to re-roll. Well, you get two rolls on your on your season initiative,
yeah.
And the opponent, if their season initiative, to get a 6, they have to re-roll.
Not that I care.
Yes. So I would love to be able to include Bjorn and have re-roll normal deployment score
as well.
Gaming turn. Yeah, but unfortunately I can't do that.
I mean, how important is first turn to you then?
Very well. It depends if we get night fighting, but albeit yes, I've got a fair chunk of invulnerable saves. I don't have any AP14 value 14 vehicles, so I'm a bit of a glass hammer. So I really do like to have that first turn, because I've got 2, like I say, strength 7 AP 2 blasts and 15 heavy weapons. I really do want to get them early kills in first. I also want to put pressure on if it's necessary to be able to move my Dread Knight to a certain place and force the opponent to do something.
Yeah. I mean, Dread Knight is definitely also another surprise package. You got quite a few tricks in your list.
Yeah, one thing on the last note of it, overall, is I've got 2 or 3 different things in my army that make people worry.
Yeah.
And because of that, it's sometimes harder for my opponent to actually allocate it.
It's all about target saturation, yeah.
And so
left. Oh yeah.
So with that, I've got a few tricks, and therefore it makes me a bit unpredictable. It can work quite well. I have, obviously, like any army, got my weaknesses. Swarm army and fast armies, because obviously I have no vehicles whatsoever.
Yeah.
But obviously today's tournament, for example, will teach me a lot of things about it, and I'm pretty sure I'll adapt my army in the future.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very difficult to create an army that doesn't have a weakness nowadays. I mean,
yeah.
If you do try and create a balanced list, it's not exactly going to particularly excel at anything.
And that's the main problem. If you just have a balanced army, it's great, but it won't be good at. It won't be brilliant at anything.
No, not at all. And with the allies rules, it's really difficult to create an all-comers list, because there are so many different options that you can come up against.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. But anyway, so we're on our way to Stockport now.
Yep.
We're going to the Toy Soldier Tournament, 1850 tournament. It's not just a 40k event, there's also a fantasy battle tournament going on, Flames of War, a Warmer Hordes event, and a Malifaux event as well. So it's quite a big event.
It sounds like it.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest 40k tops in country, like one of the top 10. I'm taking my Chaos Marines army, which is I'm about to play my 5th game ever with this list as a major DT.
Trial by retribution.
It will be in a major DT for the 5th game, not the
trial by trial.
Yeah. But anyway, that's how you learn. Yeah. Oh no, left. Yeah, sorry. I just saw the A6 sign. There we go. Cool. Okay. So I'm taking a Chaos Lord, who is my Warlord, with Terminator armor, a Sigil of Corruption, which gives him a 4-pin vulnerable save, Mark of Khorne, and a Black Mace. I'm taking another Chaos Lord, Terminator armor, Sigil of Corruption, Mark of Khorne, and Axe of Blind Fury. I have 2 squads of 8 Chaos Space Marines with dual close combat weapons, which are free because I'm swapping out the bolters. Mark of Khorne. I have 10 cultists with 4 auto guns, because I have 4 points spare and meh. I have, yep, I have 2 squads of free spawn with Mark and Urgle, which makes them toughness 6. I've got 2 land raiders with dirge casters.
Oh yes.
Which means that you cannot overwatch if you're within 6 inches of one of my land raiders.
Yes.
Lovely, especially if a tower mess pot fire.
Oh, don't yes. Just park that up next to a squad of tower and
Try not to say anything rude about tower because one of my mates play tested it and it's his favourite army. So
oh,
and he'll be there today.
Right.
So,
Right, be careful about that.
I like tower, to be perfectly honest, because
So-
I have a new challenge. I'm sorry, I've got my demon allies as well.
So yes.
Bloodthirster with 2 greater gifts, 10 blood letters, and an Aegis defense line with a quad gun. So I call it a quad gun with an Aegis defense line. But
Either way, it's
yeah, it's got both. Yeah,
it's got both things.
So yeah, that's what I'm taking. That's 50 points.
So why did you decide to take your Chaos Lords in Terminator armor?
Just for the extra durability, really. They're not all that durable even with it, because they're toughness 4. They've only got 4 vulnerable saves. You can instant death them pretty easily. It just makes them really durable to the and plus it allows you to run around to an extent by yourself and just beat the crap out of stuff.
Okay. And with your troop choices and the amount of troops that you've got there, what made you make them decisions?
Well, again, it's about target saturation, really. I've got 2 land raiders barreling down your throat. I've got 2 squads of spawn and a bloodthirster as well. So essentially, I've got 5 main target priorities that you really need to get rid of. And if I need to, I can split my lords off. They can go and do for anything. And I have 7 beat stick close combat units running around.
You can almost guarantee as well by turn 2 you're in close combat.
Yeah, pretty much. If I'm looking for a close combat turn 2, I will get it turn 2. There will be a close combat by turn 2 if I'm looking for it, whether I initiate it or not. But the blood letters are BS5, so it allows me to just sit on the quad gun and just destroy night sides at will. While the cultists are generally a small unit that I'm hoping that people are going to ignore, which has been the case to some extent, apart from yesterday where you shot 3 and they ran off the board.
Well, that's just unlucky, isn't it?
Well, to be fair, everything ran off the board in that game. So.
Oh yeah, I had 2 wolf squads running. No,
Yeah.
one had no. Weren't it 2? Was it 2 wolf squads?
You had one. The same Great Pack ran away twice.
Yeah.
It rallied twice.
Yeah.
And you had a pack of long fangs and a henchman squad.
And the funny thing is in probably about the 25 games I've had with since I started with Wolves, I've never ever had a squad run off until yesterday, and I had 2 run off.
Yeah.
So there we go. There's something new
I
there.
suppose you're hugging that line a bit more because you want to stay away from the
I
line.
did
range,
what? Yeah,
but-
I will hug in the line, and that's always the. If you're going to be a 6-inch sprint line, and you might as well kiss them goodbye when if they do fail.
Space Wolves do have a weakness in their leadership, though. They're only leadership 8, which I say only. It's likely that you'll pass, but
One of their weaknesses basically is that, which I suppose you have to accept.
yeah, it's definitely something that you need to look out for. Space Wolves aren't unbeatable, but just to add a bit of context here, me and Adam had a bit of a crazy game yesterday. It's probably fair to say.
Oh yes, it was a round 2 match, wasn't it? With the same armor list.
Yeah, for example, my Chaos Lord turning into a Demon Prince enabled Adam to kill him.
Yes, I think I must be the only person that's ever shouted out in delight of a Demon Prince appearing instead of the Lord enabling my Rune Priest to kill it.
Yeah. I was not pleased.
Yeah.
Meh.
But it was still it was a good victory to Khorne. Your tactics of charging 2 Land Raiders,
Charge stuff and beat stuff.
yes, beat stuff up, really worked. It overwhelmed me because again, target priority, saturation, and absolute clever placement of scenery and use of it.
I didn't place it.
No, not place. Sorry, correction.
I did not abuse a board.
Sorry, clever use of scenery negated my lost cannons. So
I mean, it's definitely going to be a big feature that we're going to have to look out for. I mean, I think have you brought your camera today, Adam?
yes, yeah.
You got a phone anyway.
Yeah,
So.
yeah.
We're going to be taking a few pictures. Terrain's definitely going to be a prevalent feature.
Indeed.
I'm hoping it's going to look a bit like the old Maelstrom games where it was actually chocolate block with liners that blocking terrain, and that'll be lovely for me. But
Yes. We shall see.
yeah, we shall see. It'll be an interesting event. We've got it's a 6-game tournament, two days. So today we've got first mission is going to be Emperor's Will with table quarters. where you have to capture your table quarters by having the most scoring on denial units in. Points worth of scoring and denial units in each one.
Now that's interesting.
We don't know how many points the quarters are worth for.
Now, see, that's interesting for me because I've got approximately 600 points in troop choices.
Yeah.
How much have you got?
130 for each Marine squad plus another 100. I've got about 400 points.
Yes, and you got 3 units. Is it?
Yeah.
3 units.
It's scoring a denial unit. The problem really is I've got about 500 points tied up in land raiders, which can neither score nor deny. So I'm going to need to smash my opponent up a bit.
I think maybe I was just thinking with that. The best way to go is to beat the opponent in the first match in terms of not trying to tactically win with the too much worry about the table quarters.
Yeah.
And to try to annihilate the opponent as much as possible.
I mean, what I'm hoping is that'll be a secondary objective. Because I'm not trying to get a smash victory, because if I do, I'll end up with all the town on the top tables.
Right, yes. Alright, so how are you going to go for what's your tactics for your first game?
Win the primary, obviously.
Yeah.
Hang on, draw the primary, win on secondaries.
Right, so take 2 table quarters, your own
Get
area.
first blood.
Yeah, get first blood, and then hopefully chuck somebody in for line breaking.
Yeah, because it's difficult to get first blood off my army left.
Yeah.
I reserve the cultists so you can't get the first blood off them. My bloodletters are behind my raiders defense line with a quad gun, and you can't crack my land raiders very easily. So hopefully grab first blood, sit in the 2 table quarters, sit on my own objective, happy days, throw up for line break if you really need to, because it's probably the easiest objective to get. I can just held my bloodthirster through for last turn.
Yep.
So what are your plans for that, do you think?
Well, we've been table quarters, deployment in quarter, obviously I need to really
No, sorry, this is Dawn of War.
Oh, that's fine then.
Yeah.
That's fine, it's 2 then.
I should have specified that.
No, it's alright, sorry, okay, I've got, I'm fine, I'll
You plan.
I'll deploy in the 2,
that way.
2,
Straight ahead.
I'll deploy in the 2 quarters, obviously. Straight ahead of that bit, or straight ahead this way?
That way. Yeah, I'm just following the Sounds 06. So.
That's fine.
Yeah, we got it.
I will, yes, so I'll deploy on the 2 quarters. Problem with that is obviously Dawn of War is it up to 2 troops in the HQ?
Nope, that's 5th edition, so you can deploy anything you want. It's all pitch battle.
Just pitch battle?
It's all pitch battle, yes.
Is it, what's the deployment up to? 12 inch again, is it?
12 inch, yep.
So it's the same as before, basically, other than night fighting?
Yep.
Right. So, okay, my plan would be to... I'll probably hold back with my deployment, long fangs, won't rush my troops.
It's matchup dependent, really. It's just really, the game.
So, I really need to see how the opponent goes first. That's my fault.
No, that's good. I was just wondering what that was.
Boxing back.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to... With what my army, I'm going to see what the opponent does first.
God. Oh, God. There's been a car crash. Lovely jubbly.
Overturned car, that would have only happened a few minutes ago, which is crazy if you think of it.
Yeah, I'm just sending a text to my mate.
That's crazy. All we did is turn around there.
I'm getting all my expletives out by sending people texts, so I don't swear on the podcast. Okay, game plan. That's the 3rd time lucky. Come on. What's the game plan?
So the game plan is I'm not going to rush. I won't push my troops up. I will probably hold my troops back.
Yes.
And I will outshoot. Unless I'm dependent against town, might be a bit different. Although I must admit I can hold my weight in shooting with town. Anyway, so I will draw out the opponent, and then I'll wait till turn 4 to bring out troops and chip my Dreadnought over, and give us something to worry about in the last turn.
Yeah. So the Dreadnought is definitely a really surprising in your army because it's kind of slow. When you've got the Dreadnought with its 30-inch shampoo, you can just dive on it.
Yeah, it is a bit of a contrast, isn't it?
So you're looking to win on primaries by whittling them down off their objectives and dive bombing the Dreadnought. So we're contesting with it.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Right. So the second mission is a relic.
Oh, the relic.
Deployment, which is I'm going to admit I'm kind of looking forward to this mission. because I haven't played it before with my arm, and it's going to be interesting because I could just bomb forward, take your first turn, and that's the end of that. But that should be interesting. Oh, it's quite quick. We might even be there on time. We've got half an hour to get to the tunnel. So
we shouldn't be that. We shouldn't be.
We should be okay.
Oh well, we're only. Yeah, I think we're. Do you know why that's not working? Of all the days that I need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trial by fire.
Yes.
And I've got a big ass ulcer on my face. Lovely. So there's also. There goes the armies. There's also there's a secondary objective. Right, so we've also got in the centre of each quarter there is an objective that is worth 1 point.
Yes.
I'm going to try and win on primary, dump onto the relic, lolly lol, done.
Okay, so for me, this is a bit more a tricky one than for me, you see, because I don't have things that can move out fast and drop off troops. It's one of my Achilles heel missions, and the way that I have played it and the way I will play it is I will sit back and I will shoot anything that tries to get there to turn free. It has worked before with my Psychers doing their AP2 Strength 7 blasts. And then by turn 3, what I tend to do is I'll chip my Dread Knight, just shunt it straight away over somewhere to distract the opponent,
yep.
And then I'll move up my troops, take the relic and bring back on turn 4 or 5.
Yep, definitely. And then the final mission of the day,
kill points, purely because I don't have any singular things apart from the Dread Knight that can be taken out easily.
Yeah. Well, Dread Knight's even not that easy to shift, is it really?
No, not that easy, no. But I don't have easy kill points like, oh, here's a rhino. So.
I can. The good thing about this mission is I can back my just to sign up a bit. I can hide it at the back of the board edge and just hide the cutscene, never touching them. So there is no game plan in this one. It's entirely matchup dependent.
Yes, because obviously depending on everything to do with deployment, you're not trying to get an objective. For me though, is I'll tend to what we'll do is I won't rush in turn 1 and 2. Other than I'll try to blast as much as I can, but I won't rush for CNC. No.
Definitely. Well, okay, so that's day 1. We've got a modified capture and control / Empress Will with Dawn of War deployment. We have modified relic with corner deployment, and we have kill points with football field deployment.
Yes.
So we'll get back to you at the end of the day once I have turned this off. I need to unlock my iPad again. Now all we need to do is find a way to stop port.
A Space Marine inside of a Space Marine.
Battle, brothers! It is the enemy who will taste death and defeat.
Playing his 6 Helldrake list.
Hello everyone, welcome back. We've just finished day 1 of Toy Soldier, and I'm with Swifthound.
Hi.
Hello. See what you're pleased. We've just finished our 3rd game and we're on our way back. So we're just going to be going through our games very quickly and talking about who we faced, what we faced, and what we learned from it, really.
Okay.
So I feel we should really prefix this by just explaining exactly what happened in game 1.
Yes.
Depending upon how well this is edited, you may have noticed there was a bit of an issue with some of the directions that were being given on the way to Toy Soldier. Whereby I told them to turn left on the A6 instead of turning right, and we ended up 10 minutes out of the way.
Not only that,
yep. Oh, sorry, I carry on.
We went to turn round because we were going the wrong way, and it'd only been 2 minutes to turn around, and there was literally an overturned car.
just appeared.
Yep. So that meant we had to go back and go further out, and that then meant we had a bit of a slight delay.
I'm going to find that guy and I'm going to punish him for his selfish behaviour and making us
his
late to Toy
fault.
Soldier.
His car rolled over,
terrible
and
behaviour.
basically meant that we got to the tournament late, which meant we ended up playing each other.
Again.
Round 3.
Yeah, a bit of context to it. Last time we played, it was basically I tabled you, didn't I? Really?
Effectively,
you conceded turn 6.
Yeah.
And the previous time you tabled me.
Yeah.
So this was an interesting game. As I said before, it was Emperor's Will.
Yep, and it were quarters, weren't it?
Yep. So do you want to just go through the game and I'll add?
Right. We rolled for a turn, and I do believe
You got the first
I got
turn,
first turn. In my setup, I spread across, but I did it in a way because we'd still got a objective marker. I made it so that it was heavier in a certain way, knowing full well that Tom had just 2 main forms of attack, 2 tanks.
Yeah, land raiders.
Yep. And I made sure that this time that the scenery wasn't against me, and we
could not abuse the pyramids in the middle of the
no.
board.
My last cannons did have a line of sight. We started on turn 1, which was probably the most uneventful turn 1 ever.
I think.
Did you actually make any kills in turn 1?
I think I killed 2 acolytes.
Yes, you did kill 2
and
acolytes.
You killed a couple of bloodletters.
That might have been it.
Yes,
yeah,
yes, you
it
did,
was.
yeah.
Yeah. And that was it for turn 1. Bit of movement. Tanks speeding down the left and right.
Well, the left one was a bit more stationary because I was wary of the last cannon.
Oh, that were it. Yeah.
Dreadnought.
That's right. The left one stayed where it were.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Right one powered.
But the right powered one down. And I'm thinking, oh great, it's going to get into my.
I was quite pleased with that one.
And
I just had a
I'd
little
actually-
corner where you couldn't shoot me with last cannons.
Yes, I actually made a slight oversight that one of my troops was quite far away, so I moved it towards you, and did some pathetic rolls, and that was end of turn 1. Turn 2 was a bit more eventful, but still, I'd like to point out we just ahead of we didn't actually get a full unit kill point till turn 3.
Yeah, first blood wasn't in effect, but if it was, it wouldn't get in
Tom did very well with his right flanker tank and jumped out and took him a long fang. Surprisingly, 2 long fangs survived.
I think it was 3, wasn't it? Because
It might have been 3, yeah.
There was 2 in the combat and then 1 in the challenge.
Now, last cannons in that turn, I think, did Bodol. No, they might have wounded the Bloodthirster, I think.
Yeah.
Hiding behind a building. On the left-hand side, your left, I think you moved your tank a bit, but again, I think it was uneventful in shooting at it. You charged me, and you killed a few. In obviously your second turn.
Is this a spawn, sorry? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got me straight in with a spawn.
Passed a morale check, didn't you? So.
Yeah, passed my morale check, but you did take out most of my acolyte squad, most of my henchwoman squad, which I was a bit niffed with, because I'd basically got nothing from them in shooting.
Yeah.
So that was a bit of a waste of 100 points. However,
I'll hear about wasting 100 points, wait until later, but...
yes, yes, fair point. And at this point, my Dreadnought was still in second turn. It was hiding in a building, in the ruins, and I thought, right, well, he's moved his 2 tanks down now. His Bloodthirst is coming. I'm going to play bunny hop, and I did my 30-inch move and took out some bloodletters and figured I'd put some pressure on. And in the combat phase of the second turn, what do we have?
Just charged into the Axe Blind Fury Lord in this squad, didn't they? So.
Yes, and I must admit it was one of those moments where the Grey Hunters did exactly what they said on the tin.
Yeah.
With the use of the banner, effectively making them Terminators. Was an amazing attack on against your Chaos Warriors, I do believe I took them all out, but you sorcerer.
I think you got the entire squad, mate.
Oh no, I got the sorcerers all, didn't I?
It's just regular lore, but I would like to point out here though that this was with help from the Lord, in these two combats.
Yes.
He has a demon weapon, which means he gets an extra d6 attacks every turn at strength 6 AP 2 because that's his weapon. However, if he rolls a 1, he hits himself in the face with it, with no armor saves and cover saves allowed.
So basically hit himself.
In both combats.
Yes, and I do believe it was my Wolfen that
destroyed him.
Destroyed him. And I've got to say, actually, and it sounds bizarre, my Wolfen in games that I've had have actually been unsung heroes in the sense of you can't select them out, but if you're lucky and do a decent roll, you can get 5 or 6 attacks with him, and then you might get some 6s and you get a couple of endings. I do believe I've took out an old war boss doing that once.
You took out a squad of knobs, didn't you? Not doing the same thing.
Yeah, and so I've got to say they did that, and that's where we did concede the first kill point.
You're basically thinking at this point it was just game, really, weren't you?
I was thinking, I'm going to hold my left. I'm going to hold my left. I've got my objective.
Your Dread Knight's going off to knock me on my
bloodletters. I thought I'm going to take care of his bloodletter squad. And he'll only have one left in a unit coming up to me on the other side, and he'll have his guardsmen, which aren't going to really do much. And I thought, that's it. I thought, well, job's a good one. However, turn 3 was an interesting turn. Would you like to say about that?
I'll just, what happened? I can't physically. I remember what happened. You had your Dread Knight in my battleline.
Yeah.
And you, I could have possibly gone for a charge in your Dread Knight in the turn 2.
Yep.
But I decided not to because it was unlikely charge.
Yes.
And either way, what you're going to do is you're going to charge one squad.
Yep.
You're going to knock it out.
Yep.
And then I was just going to beat you up with a Bloodthirster.
Yep.
So because the Cortes didn't
we both knew that it was a sacrificial lamb. The Dread Knight. We're going to lose against Bloodthirster. Yeah. But it was an eye for an eye. We're getting rid of your troops choice.
Yeah. But my Cortes hadn't come on, so I was okay with that because I can just wander them on and just take my home objective anyway.
Yeah.
So, right. Right. I really needed to kill the Dread Knight turn 3.
Yes.
I 100% needed that to happen.
Yes. Otherwise, that'd have been.
Well, at this point, you were still. My army's extremely quick, and most people, in fact, in every single game, it caught my opponent by surprise a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing my Bloodfist got you a bit by surprise.
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Because it was straight across the board.
More to that later in later turns for that. Actually.
Yeah. But so I charged the Dread Knight. It just killed all the bloodletters. Has it? Yeah, it has because you had first turn. You charged my bloodletters. Turn 3, killed the bloodletters. Would have been first blood. I then charged him with Bloodthirster and just about managed to kill the Dread Knight.
Yes.
The spawn is still wandering around your backlines.
Yeah.
Because there's a little rock in the middle of the board.
Yeah, they're wandering around the rock and they're using cover.
Yep, because they completely ignore cover for the purposes of moving and charging.
Yep.
Because they're awesome. And this is my 6 as well, so then pretty difficult to deal with. You really need to pump lots of high strength shots into them. So I think you killed my Land Raider this turn, do you? Am I right?
Yes, I killed. Yeah. Even though. I mean, the only reason why I got it is because I couldn't see the other one, and I figured, there's some last cannons in there. I'll just take it out. I
was being a little cagey with my Land Raider on the left because I was aware the melter guns and the Dreadnought was quite nearby. I didn't want to get smashed on. So basically, what happens with the rest of the game is the spawner sort of running around in your midfield, causing some damage for like turn 3, turn 4. I get out on the left Land Raider, and charge straight into your squad.
Yes.
Of Groundness with the Warlord in it.
Oh, we can't miss out the Overwatch of the Century.
Oh, that was impressive. You got more hits than you did misses on your Overwatch, and you needed 6s to hit. Yeah, that was impressive.
Yes, I've got to say it did take out. Took a wound and took out 2 or 3 men, I think.
Yep, but the men definitely did take a beating. But I charged into that squad with a Black Mace. So wasn't expecting too much because it's AP4, but all needs 1 wound.
You don't need to worry about that because toughness tests.
Yes, but I need to cause an unsafe wound.
Yeah, that's right. I meant as in.
I charge in. You pop your wolf banner, which is completely the right thing to do, and I've actually forgotten about it, despite being a wolf player. So you challenge me with you. I challenge you, except with your wolf guard.
Yes.
So now you've got 2 up rerollable armor save.
Yep.
I cause 6 wounds. You fail 2.
Yep.
And then you roll them again, and you fail one of those, so you lose your wolf guard.
And I couldn't believe that. I thought
1 in 6 chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just one of those times where it was unfortunate and it pivoted there. But that was actually the game breaker. If I'd have actually killed him with the wolf card, you might as well. In terms of
you had a wolf claw on that one, didn't you?
It were wolf claw. So yeah,
I would have been fine. That's why I was in there. But I take a couple of guys out. Yeah, and then in my next turn I challenge again.
So you took out some more in your toughness tests again?
Yep, and then next turn you challenge me with your Warlord. Except with a Warlord.
Yep.
Because you got the 2-up save, you're more likely to avoid your toughness tests.
Yep.
Unfortunately, you lose your Warlord due to 2 failed saves.
Yes, unbelievable. Again, really bad rolls.
Yeah. So at that point, I'm winning the game.
Yes, and I thought,
because
I couldn't believe it because I was actually 2 victory points up.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden I'm down.
Yeah.
So it was pretty...
First blood wasn't counted in the end.
Yeah,
really,
yeah. So I figured out I was winning by 1, and I had more troops, comfortable positions.
Yeah.
And it all went on that singular bit, and I thought, that's it.
So now it's kind of dicey, but you can still shoot my Colts off the objective, really.
Yeah, but I'd like to point out, I decided not to because I knew that you would go.
I just go to ground, yeah. I'm not going to.
And I'd lost my Dread Knight, so there was nothing up there. So it was really now a game of CNC close combat.
Pretty much. We were all sort of wandering around in your lines, really. So what it came down to this game was you had a few long flank packs. You had a few long flanks dotted around everywhere. And it was turn 5, and I have 2 squads to spawn, one of which is severely depleted.
Yes.
I'm a Bloodthirster. Yes. I am going to try and contest your objective. You've won quarters.
Yes.
Because you've got the ability to move into the quarters. I really don't want things to push the thing for the objective, because I've already got so many points tied into non-denial and scoring units like my Land Raiders. I'm never going to beat you in quarters.
Yes.
Whereas there is not a single vehicle in your army.
Yep.
So I always needed to contest your objective. So I'm flying on with a spawn. They charge into the acolytes.
Yep.
One squad is killed by the Overwatch.
Again, Overwatch, crazy. When there's
despite the fact that most of them can't fire Overwatch.
I think it was 4 last pistols, wasn't it?
Yep. And you kill 2 spawn. Now the other squad does get in though.
Yep.
And Kotiaz is bashing his way through very slowly.
Yeah. I think Cortez is really good.
Yeah.
However, the fact that it lacks an AP invulnerable save is crazy.
Yeah.
In fact, you'll notice that all Inquisitors.
Yeah.
You can't give normal Inquisitors an invulnerable save.
And that was exactly the reason why I deployed my Axe of Blind Fury over there.
Yep.
Because not only am I cancelling out your armor save, I'm also doubling you out.
Yep. So anyway,
I'm going to just look at my map so that we don't get lost again. We can carry on though.
Cortez actually managed to survive.
What's he doing? It's a red light.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay, crazy guy. So anyway, so Cortez managed that, but then I knew that
turn 5. I pounced my Bloodthirster across the board. 2 turns, 48-inch move.
We both worked it out that it was going to be a victory if we didn't continue the game.
Turn 5, I win the game because you don't have your objective.
Yep, effectively because it's contested with the blood.
I also have.
That is flying.
I would have won 5.2. 1. You've only got
I would have only had quarters.
Yeah.
I didn't kill you. Oh no!
In fact, I may even had quarters because I have a Bloodthirster in your quarter, which is 290 points by itself. That's irrelevant.
Yes.
Because the game did not end.
No.
So what it now comes down to is turn 6. Can you kill my Bloodthirster?
That was basically the main question. Bear in mind, it's flying, but I did still have, miraculously, my last cannon squad untouched with rerolls.
Yeah, so you basically shoot at the Bloodthirster, you knock it down.
Unbelievable, bear in mind you can only knock it down, is it 1 or 2?
I failed my grounding check. In fact, it made 1 grounding check all tournament so far.
And it's failed it?
Yeah, it's passed 1.
Oh, it's passed 1?
It's failed all of the others.
Right.
I'm not going to moan about that though, because it's a Bloodthirster, it's meant to be down and beating stuff. So, the Bloodthirster goes down, and you win the game 5-4.
Such a turnaround, it was unbelievable. It's amazing how one little thing of one dice roll of a 1 can change a game from being a winning game to a not winning game.
Equally, it's the Axe of Blind Fury did as well. They did exactly the same thing.
Yes.
So
So I mean, it was a really gritty, close game.
Yeah.
And it could have gone either way.
Yeah.
And I think it was one of those games where it was so close that you don't mind if you win or lose because it was such a close game.
I mean, at the end of the day, that was my 4th game with that army. I am definitely still practicing with it. It's like...
And you're working out some neeks, aren't you?
Yeah. When I first started my Wolves, I took them to Furnace Skulls like 2 weeks after I finished building them, which is basically what I've done. This one, except 2 days.
Yeah.
I have not showered because I've been painting all week. I have not had the time. Luckily, you cannot smell me.
No,
I showered before the club.
So
it does kind of stink now.
So that meant that we finished the game, but it was slightly bittersweet because in the point structure, rather than a full win, which is 30 points, it was a 25-5.
Because we drew the primary because we both had our objectives.
And I won on secondary
objectives.
So it were a close game, and I think we both left that thinking, well, it's early, it's time to go.
Yeah.
And I think definitely the second game was very interesting.
Yeah.
Would you like to start yours?
Well, as a victor, I think you should start yours because now you have a lot to say on yours.
Oh, hey! Right then, so my opponent... But yes, indeed. My opponent was a Welsh internationalist.
He plays... I'm just going to quickly just go through the international thing very briefly. There's a tournament that's being held in Serbia this year called the European Team Championships, although it does include teams from Australia, America, Canada, South Africa even this year. Each team has 8 players selected from any national from their country, although if you can't get enough players you can hire 4 mercenaries. And you were playing a guy called Rich, who was one of the Welsh, he was definitely Welsh, who was one of the international players for them.
The flag gave it away in his top.
Yeah, and his accent.
As well, yeah.
Probably like we gave away from Yorkshire a bit.
Now, as you can imagine, being that type of gamer, my army, I've got to say, is quite competitive, but it's probably borderline spammy, borderline just a good list. And this guy, however, it was the ultimate demons list.
Yeah. So what was he running?
He was running 2 demon princes.
With wings
with wings, feel no pain, and God knows how many.
He got endurance on his psychic powers, didn't he? So.
Yeah, he got so many things like feel no pains, 4-ups.
They're confusing armies. You really need a pen and paper for that army.
He did, yeah. I mean, he literally half of the game was actually spent in him rolling for his powers. But anyway, so he had 4 flyers in total, 2 demon princes, Fate Weaver, which is interesting.
Yep.
And the other one. I've been another.
He had the Screamer Blob. Don't forget Screamer Blob.
Right, yeah. And then he had a Screamer Blob with 3 Heralds and Screamers, and because he won first turn.
I'm just gonna quickly explain Fate Weaver now.
Oh yes.
Just quickly, because Fate Weaver, he's not exactly a combat beast. He's 300 points, and all you're really getting, because the psychic powers are random, he has to take Pyromancy, for example, as one of his powers. Fate Weaver allows you to reroll 1d6 per turn. You may think that's huge points for 300 points for that is huge. But when he's running things like the Grimoire as his exalted gift, wasn't he?
Yes.
So you get +2 to your invulnerable save.
Yeah.
And as you're Zeech, you reroll your 1s. And then also it helps him with the grounding checks as well. Yep. So it basically enables his army to be a bit more reliable, really, doesn't it? So, sorry, carry on.
Effectively, he had because he won the first turn, and his psychic powers were further away than 24 inch. I'll get to this in a minute. He basically ended up with a 2-up invulnerable save squad, massive squad, with a reroll for 1 because there was inch, meaning he had a 2-up invuln, 2-up invuln, and all having 4 attacks on charge, AP 3, with enough 8 or 10 screamers, I think about 8 screamers, and enough basically to annihilate anything. And I'd obviously I deployed to try to counteract that by bunching things as close as possible, and he moved along, literally chock-a-block, and dropped down his troops further towards the relic. And how do I put it? he annihilated a Wolfguard squad, but I was clever and challenged him, which he actually accepted, even though he didn't have to accept.
It's better than declining and not doing anything, though, really.
No, it's true, yeah. So it meant that I was locked in combat for another turn, and his flyers moved along. I managed to actually, we didn't actually lose anything in the first turn. I managed to down his Demon Prince in the second turn and knock it down, bearing in mind it had 5 wounds down to 1. And he moved along and killed my Wolf Guard on my assault phase. Took him over onto next Wolf Guard squad, Grey Hunter squad, and annihilated that one as well. And I thought that this is it. That's it. End of game. I've lost my 2 main troops. Henchwomen had been charged by Demon Prince with courtiers, which he ended up killing. So I thought, game's over. However, I didn't give up, and my Rune Priests charged Rune Priest charged Demon Prince and killed it, luckily. And my Longfangs actually downed the rest of the flyers and took out all the flyers.
Nice.
So that actually meant it meant that from that
Left tip.
yeah, it's frozen, as you noticed.
Ah, yes.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Oh dear, we're relying on me now.
Yeah. And it's frozen again, unfortunately. So anyway, it was devastating.
Left it, mate.
Yeah. It was devastating. And he charged Fate Weaver into my Longfangs, and I had my 2 Rune Priests. Oh no, Courtiers didn't die, sorry. No, he had 2 Rune Priests left here, isn't it?
Right.
Is it right?
He's going towards Chapel on Frith.
That's right. I had Courtiers and 2 Rune Priests in close combat with Fate Weaver. I thought it would be easy. Well, actually, for the next 3 turns, he rolled Feel No Pains on Force Weapons. Rune Weapons and
was Fate Weaver's Warlord
Demon
as well.
Yes.
So that's absolutely huge.
Yeah.
So if you just want to explain what's wrong here.
What was wrong is with Force Weapons, it's instant death if you pass your psychic test, with demons, is it right here? Is it? No, it's not. Is it
Left?
Oh, I think we've gone the wrong way here, haven't we?
No, I was just following the signs to check.
Are we going to Buxton?
Hold on. No, we're not going to Buxton, mate, because that's where we went last time. Try left. Try left.
Try left. Okay, so anyway,
Yep.
yes, and so forth. I wounded him, and so many times, and he failed. He must have failed so many armor saves, but he kept getting 4 up, Feel No Pains. I was getting frustrated, thinking, why is it happening? So more to that later. My Dread Knight took out a lot of his troops.
Yeah, we're going right way.
So he did a 30-inch shunt and took out his troops holding relic. So his Flame and Blob. Bearing in mind, I'd made a massive.
What? It says on here, it's fine. Hey, that was quick.
Right.
We've got the hang of fixing it now.
Yeah, we're getting there. So anyway,
Feel no pain.
the Feel No Pain ended up transpiring, and I checked with Tom.
Yeah.
I checked with Tom, basically, and he didn't get Feel No Pain. Now, I'm guessing this guy knew this.
Well, from that I know some EC players with some of my best mates, and they're normally like really relaxed guys.
This guy weren't relaxed.
But he seemed nice enough. He seemed like a nice enough guy. He just sort of seemed like he really, really wanted to win, even though he's practicing for the ETC.
Yeah.
Because I'll explain what we're really doing in the tournament in a minute. You got sat nav on?
Oh, I'm just loading.
Damn it. Right, so we'll need to turn it around at some point then. Again. So, I was going to say turn right there. Not here. No, the previous one. So try and go in here. Yeah. So, I'd probably say he probably knew that. I mean, he's one of the best 8 Welshmen in the world, if I thought he'd get.
Yeah. So,
and I know some good Welshmen.
I think he knew it basically. And anyway,
you can kind of understand it because it's a tournament, but at the same time, one,
Space Marines!
and two, they were there really to practice for the ETC, which is the biggest tournament in the world. And if you're practicing for the ETC, surely you would want the most competitive experience possible so that you can learn how to deal with certain situations.
I mean, it's an I should know that rule because it's one of my weapons. So I'm going to take. I were annoyed at myself, but I was also annoyed at him because I'm guessing this would be such a basic rule. There'd be no way they didn't know that. Anyway, moving on. What I'd actually not realised is during the entire game, my Rune Priest should have been cancelling out his psychic powers, not just doing Deny the Witch on a 4-up. So effectively, I'd damaged my chances because.
Oh, there's a base there. What's for a
wolf?
Yeah, a Federation wolf is just. It's like your cards are Tervigan, it just spawns space wolves. Right.
So effectively,
maybe that was the problem. It was inside there.
I wonder if it's still. Is it still loading?
Yeah.
It's not frozen, is it?
You know what, mate? I think I got this. I got us around it last time after I made a massive cock up.
So anyway, effectively, I just destroyed all my chances because I've not been doing all these psychic tests on these two ups.
Yeah, I mean, it would have been nice for him to let you know. But
the really cheesy thing is, though, is towards the end I was actually winning, and I killed all but one of his troops, and he hid behind a hill with the relic. And
well, of course, that's what you're going to do.
Yep, and that were it. That were end of game. I would have won if I'd not made them errors. That were my fault. Yeah. It's all right losing a game when you lose a game, but when you make errors, it was annoying. Yeah. So effectively, because of those two things, it cost me the game, and it ended up being fine. Yep, 30-0 to him. Victory points being 5-3.
Yeah, I mean, I could have backgazzed Donnelly and said that you got 5 points in that, but.
No,
we got moral high ground to you, really, isn't it?
Yes.
So, I mean, you were definitely unlucky with that game, to be honest.
Yeah.
But
it was a learning experience.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to feel like again, really, are you?
No.
So I'll just quickly move into my game. I felt just as robbed as you did when I turned up to my table.
Yeah.
Because I turned up, and there was a Tau army there, and I was thinking, I lost my previous game. Why am I playing a Tau player?
Yes. Oh, that was so true.
Because Tau are definitely the new big thing of the tournament scene. In our first game, every single table adjacent to us, including corner adjacents, like bishops, had Tau on it.
Yep.
So, I was playing as a Tau player called Tom Gould. I've had him before. He was running a Tau and Eldar combo, so he had his Ethereal. He had 2 Riptides with twin-linked fusion blasters, which of course is not nice for my Land Raider. He had 3 squads of Pathfinders, 1 of 6, 2 of 5. He had 3 squads of 10 Croup with sniper rounds. He had... what else did he have? He had 2 units of 3 broadsides with missile drones. And then for his Eldar allies, he had a Farseer on jetbike. He had 2 small minimal squads of Wind Rider jetbikes. And he had a Wraith Knight with 2 heavy Wraith cannons, which I pooed myself at. So, it was obviously the relic. And we have the little objectives. Yep, that's sat-nav turning back on, excellent.
Let's see.
So, there's this big piece of line of sight blocking terrain in the middle of the board.
Yeah.
And there's kind of a big open face on one side. So, what I do is I take the deployment zone that's kind of facing back, because it's corners and I can get in cut.
In 200 yards and
so,
follow the E624.
Lovely. So I take the corner but it's kind of facing this.
Yes.
Because I know I can pivot. The relic obviously have a width, so I'm less than 12 inches away. I deploy my Land Raider sideways, so what I do is then I twist, turn to get a couple of inches, because obviously I'm longer than I am wide.
Yep.
If anyone wants a demonstration, I can show you how that works, because I'm not sure if it made sense with that. Oh, there goes the high elves, or wood elves, or What else? Yeah. The elves. So. Yeah, okay, yeah. So. He wins a roll for first turn though, so he chooses to go second. Which was completely right because it's basically preventing me from winning the game. As it stands. I really need to smash him, and I need the game to end on the right turn to win the game.
Yes.
Which is more likely than not, so I'm okay with that. So I'm going to go straight for a relic. My original plan was, because he can't really get too close to me, because I've got that threat range, because I'm such a quick army, everything has essentially a 24-inch charge range.
Yeah.
Up to, at least. That's near Fawn Bridge. So he's not going to come near me, because if he does, I'm just going to beat him up. However, I'm thinking that his army excels at killing my troops. The only thing he really has that can hit my Land Raider is the Wraith Knight.
Yeah.
Because everything else, the Riptide can get up to Strength 9 if it overcharges. If it fails, it gets Hot Roll, and if it then hits me.
Yeah.
And then it needs 6 to 10.
Yes.
So what I'm going to do is
right in 180 yards, then turn left.
I'm going to fly my Bloodthirster into this big piece of land as a blocker.
Yep.
And I'm going to have my Land Raiders.
Right.
Shut up. I have my Land Raiders behind my Aegis Defense line, giving them a 4 cover save because I'm obscured enough because it's basically half my face. Hang on, we were just here.
Now turn left.
Okay, this is weird.
Please veer left in 180 yards.
So, I put my Land Raiders behind. If he wants to be able to shoot them with the Wraith Knight, I can shoot him back with my 4 twin glass cannons. Because he doesn't have an invulnerable save, he's a big guy, he's not going to get a cover save from much. I should win my shootout, because I've got the cover save and he does not have the save against me. So, I position him like that. And then, I get greedy. I decide, right, I'm going for this. He tries to seize the initiative because he's cheeky. I'm going to try and grab a relic first turn, hide it in the Land Raider, because once in my Land Raider he can't get me because it's land type blocking. Considering where it's deployed, he's not going to get at me too much because I don't think he deployed particularly well. Oh, for goodness sake. Oh, that's just a side, that's fine. So I need to go with my defense line. I don't take dangerous terrain. I charge forward, stick it on my Lord because he's in the scoring unit, he can pick it up. I basically hide him at Land Raider for the rest of the game.
Yes.
I'm desperately trying to defend this. I'll lose Land Raider and a few guys in the process. Now, comes to turn 5. I have a relic, which are 3 points.
Yep.
He has 2 objectives, worth 1 point each, with his
Please
bikers.
veer right in 1 mile. Then
So if the game ends,
veer left onto the A623.
I win 4-2 because I have my spawn in his deployment turn.
Yes.
Because what I'd done was earlier I jumped out my Bloodthirst to kill the Wraith Knight, Riptide, and I got a Pathfinder to shut down some of the marker lights. I'd whittled down. I basically hid for the rest of the game after that because it felt sufficiently confident that it whittled down and shooting enough. Bloodthirst then got shot by a lot, so game doesn't end obviously. And he turbos his Farseer on bike onto my one objective that I'm holding with my Bloodletters.
Yes.
Because what I'm doing with that is, so now he's contesting my objective and he's got Linebreaker.
Yes.
So he's now got 3 points, and now he needs to kill the spawn to be drawing the game.
Yep.
He kills the spawn. So right, that's okay. 50-50 chance that the game goes on. If the game goes on, my Bloodletters beat the crap out of this Farseer, and my Warlord can even join in too. So it gets to the roll-off, game ends. So I've drawn the second game.
Yes.
So, I was kind of disappointed with that, because in both of my games I haven't got the win because of when the game has ended.
There's a bit of a theme to that, isn't there?
Yeah. Pretty much. The problem, I think I should start slow playing people. Playing really slowly so the game ends turn 5. No. But it was a good game. Both of those games were really close. So, obviously that's a 3-3 draw. I've now got 20 points going around 3, and Adam has 20. I'll load that up. Swiftstander has 25.
Yep.
So, getting pretty close here. So, you want to go through your game 3?
Oh. Right, well, after being severely burnt and annoyed with myself,
You took your rage out on someone.
yes, a guy, and it was Tao, surprise, surprise. And the funny thing is when I said we shook hands and I said, "Oh, what do you play?" He turned round and said Tao, and my face dropped. And he went, no, it's not.
It's not like the Tao that I played.
It's not the Tao spam. It's a normal Tao army.
We've just one riptide in it.
Yeah, there's one riptide and what I think we're one hammerhead, or what they call them. Hammerhead.
Yeah, hammerhead.
So anyway, I had to point out it were kill points and hammer and anvil.
Yep.
And I won deployment basically first turn, and I was really aggressive in how I deployed. I want to maximise my opportunity here because we'd rolled for thing is we'd rolled for night fighting, but we accepted that we'd done it even though it was done before. It was unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'd deployed. What do you know? No, that was the second game we did that. No, forget that. I just deployed full off. I deployed full on, being really aggressive. Cause I thought I'm going to do it. I'm going to beat Tau. I did really good on my psychic powers. I got ignore, cover, and rerolls.
Yeah, that's huge for Tau. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Rerolls for what? Sorry.
I had rerolls on my henchwomen with ignore cover and reroll to hit on my last cannons and ignore cover on my last cannons.
Nice.
So it was the best possible scenario that I could hope for. So that Lady Luck was on my side for that bit, and he failed to take the. Oh, I'd like to point out he had quite a lot of scenery. And he deployed all his troops and
just like fire warriors then.
Fire warriors and Markalark galore, and he actually was deep striking some battle suits. Although he's heavy support, obviously you can't deep strike them. And he had 2 of them in the woods. Right, so turn 1, he didn't steal initiative. I'd like to point out that my army, although it doesn't have vehicles, and sometimes I think it's a bit glass hammery if I lose my invulnerable saves of my troops. I'd like to point out that this was possibly the best first turn ever, and my army can really annoy people if it works well. Because effectively, both my henchwomen managed to take the psychic powers. And also he failed to deny the witch, and with ignore cover, bearing in mind on one of them, I took out his heavy support and 4 drones in one shot.
Nice. Was heavy support just his hammerhead, yeah?
No, it was the ones with the rail.
The broadsides.
Broadsides. 2 broadsides and 4 drones in one shot. It was in trees, but obviously ignoring cover. I did that on purpose because I wanted to see if I could do that and rather than shoot the last cannons at them. So my other henchman shot he'd sort of positioned a squad behind a wall, but I was able to see quite a lot of the squad, and the blast template landed on the squad, bang on, hit again, took out the entire squad. Yep, and that was a 10-man squad.
Nice.
10-man squad clumped together, no ones, bye-bye squad. My last cannons then took out, not 2 or maybe 3 wounds off his riptide, which I was happy about. All my missiles concentrated on a 10-man squad, fragged and took them out. So at end of turn 1, bearing in mind my Warlord was outflanking, because I've got outflanking with a squad. I took out 3 or 4 kill points in one turn, and it was his second turn. And in the entire second turn, purely because I took out a lot of his marker lights, his Riptide, and the way I had placed, his Riptide took out 1 Crusader, and his Hammerhead took out 1 Crusader. He decided to concentrate on 1 unit. Anyway, my second turn, good roll. I bring in flanking, me Rune Priest with his squad, and I Jaws of Wolf the squad, and I take out the Riptide.
Yeah.
And then I shoot the Hammerhead.
Just saying it, mate. Riptide gets a +1 to whatever, -1 to whatever it rolls on its initiative check because it's a monster creature, was it?
Yes, yeah,
Cool.
and it still died. It's he failed it, and
yeah.
And my Space Marines took out the rest of the squad because I split them up, that were it for that bit. For that section, I took out the rest of his troops in the second turn. He deep struck his commander, the one that has where she doesn't scatter.
Far sight.
Yes.
Yes.
And they finally took out a squad that took out my henchwomen. And I'm saying this in detail because I want to emphasise on this in a second. On my turn 3, I took out his hammerhead, sorry, and
too many grey knights.
Yes.
Has that frozen again?
Oh, yes, it has. But
let's get my phone out.
Yeah, we'll pull over again. So anyway, and I took out everything else, barring HQ and the Farsight. HQ on turn 4 died to Jaws of the Wolf.
Yeah. And
my Dread Knight charged Farsight and killed the Farsight. So by turn 4, the end of the game was 12 victory points, 12 kill points to 1.
Yeah, so that's
and that would have 30 points under the belt plus 3 points secondary.
So you finished the day with 55 points.
Yes.
It's not bad at all. So I'll just go on to my next game now. I was against another ETC player, which is kind of interesting considering I haven't won a game all day. But I think it's been close.
It were a tough matchup.
Yeah. He was running Chaos Space Marines with Necron allies.
Yeah.
He had a Sorcerer, Intimidator armor. He had 3 squads of 10 cultists, just naked, so 150 point their troops. He had 3 squads of 2 Obliterators, Mark and Nurgle, and he had 3 Heldrakes, which is pretty much, this was the ETC list. This is what he's taking to Serbia. For his Necron allies, he then had an Overlord, naked. That kind of, I'll have to come on to that in a minute. That annoyed me as well, actually. Okay, sat nav. He had a 2 roll cop with 2 cryptics in it with the haywire thing, which is 12-inch range, 4-shot, strength 5 AP, something rubbish. Haywire gun, so it'll rip my Land Raiders apart, pretty easy. He had 2 squads of Necron Warriors, and he had an Annihilation Barge. So he had quite a few kill points up for grabs. They're all kind of moderately difficult to get, but none of them too difficult. The thing that really annoyed me though was that he got first turn. I did choose my deployment zone though, so I chose the one opposite on the side that did not have the big impassable line of sight blocking piece of terrain in it. So I could just hide all my stuff behind it. So I set up my Aegis, and then he's obviously, I let him have first turn because I want to see how he sets up. And then I can obviously dart back terrain for that. The problem that happened was, well, he kind of had his Obliterator split across the middle of his hill. One on the left, one on the right, one in the centre. And the anti-barge in the middle as well. 2 squads of cultists in reserves, and I have no idea why he deployed the other one. Oh wait, no, that was to work the quad. He had an Aegis line with a comms relay. So what he was doing was he was re-rolling his reserves, so he's got more reliability with his flyers. So he gets first turn, but I seize it, which is a bonus. But it really made up something that I really felt was a bit iffy. He was a nice enough guy. I mean, it was a good game, but I always put my bloodletters on my quad gun because I'm BS5, so it's 2 to hit with rerolls. And then he goes over to a TO. I was just, he was clearly discussing something, so I came over and said, what's the problem? And he said, I'm just checking that your bloodletters can fire the quad gun. I'm like, well, why wouldn't they be able to fire it? We've got a ballistic skill. And he's like, no mate, and he's found this little paragraph that says, a unit can fire the quad gun instead of firing its weapon. Now, because bloodletters do not have a shooting weapon, they cannot fire the quad gun. I can see you shaking your head here. But my argument to this was really, so my bloodletters have to pick up a gun, then put it down again and fire the quad gun. Which seems absurd to me, to be honest.
Yeah.
They have a ballistic skill, therefore they have the skill to fire a ballistic weapon. So, really it was an argument of what... rules as written, he was bang on. I couldn't fire the quad gun. How's that going?
Not so good yet.
So, rules as written, I couldn't fire the quad gun. But it was so obscene, I would expect a TO to step in. Unfortunately, they did it rules as written. So I couldn't fire the quad gun with my bloodletters, which was huge, because he's got the Heldrakes, I now have to put my cultists on it, and to provide the interceptor so that he's forced to stay back in his deployment zone for a bit. And then the Heldrakes can just come and burn them off, because they can run off a board, which they did actually later on, and they don't have an invulnerable save, so no saves to Heldrakes. I think we need to leave one of the windows open, mate, for it, because it seems to work when windows are open. It needs to cool down. Oh, it's nice and cool now. Nice and cool. Well, I'll carry on while you...
Yeah, you carry on.
Yep. So I seize the initiative. I charge forward, I use the terrain, I try to hide behind it a bit with no night fighting. And... I didn't really do any shooting, but first shot of the game, he fires 2 obliterators at my Land Raider, my furthest forward Land Raider. And I really need these Land Raiders at the minute, because he's got first, no he doesn't, he has second turn. Because he comes in with his Drakes, he's AP free, so what I need is to keep my guys, and I'm also dead up in his deployment zone, so that I'm safe from his Heldrakes, is why I need the Land Raiders. But I've got 4 up cover, he fires 2 obliterators at him with last cannons. 2 hits, double 6, so he pens twice. I fail both my cover saves and the Land Raider explodes. So he gets first blood and a kill point straight off the bat. So I was already annoyed about this incident with the bloodletters. So it basically annoyed me even more, to be honest. Apart from that, not much really happens. He kills a couple of spawn. He kills a marine, but he's already ahead. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to barrel into his squads to try get as far forward as I can. So I'm thinking it's unlikely that I'm going to be able to make a charge this turn. So what I do is I spread out to avoid Heldrake death, and I just get ready for more charges. All his flyers come on, bar 1 Heldrake, and start burning stuff. I lose quite a few marines, I lose some bloodletters that just deep struck down to try and hide the kill point, and safeguard linebreaker. And then I start trying to claw it back. I make a couple of critical charges here. First off, my spawn managed to charge into a cultist squad, which isn't unlikely. I've got a 12-inch move, plus I've got fleet and may ignore the cover. But what isn't likely is my lord and his squad of marines who I've strung out to try and avoid Heldrakes hitting me too much, because if he wants optimum number of hits, he has to give him a 2-up save. Apart from a torrent, which you can force her back, but it's a matter of ranges again, and I'll have to come near my bloodthirster, who's got his gift, which is for strength 8 AP1 lance. So I make a 9-inch charge through cover into his obliterators. So I kill the 2 obliterators. I kill his cultists, who also have a few of his cultists who also have a warlord in, and I chase them off the board. So now I'm ahead. He basically it's mainly his flyers flying around and burning stuff. He drops a couple of squads out, finally finish off my bloodletters, and tries to go after my second raider. So he's finishing off squads, I'm finishing off squads quickly as well, because my bloodfist is flying around. It's knocked a bale flame off 1 Heldrake and killed another, and also removed 3 wounds with a vector strike from my squad of obliterators. So what it basically comes down to is it's a really close game again. He's got Linebreaker. Yeah, he's got First Blood as well, and he's got Slaver Warlord because he manages to snipe my Warlord out of from behind an Aegis defense line because I'm fearless and can't go to ground.
Give it a second for that.
Hey, it's working well done.
Yeah, well,
factory settings.
Yeah. I'll carry on.
Sorry. No, you can talk, mate. I jump in on yours. Oh yeah, sure, fair. Yeah. Sorry, failed me. So basically, oh, there's another model here. That's kind of cool. Basically, the game ends after his letter has chased down one of my squads of Chaos Space Marines who run away. He gets a point for them. I get 2 points because he's got an Overlord and a squad of Necron Warriors running away. And the game ends turn 5? Yeah, game ends turn 5. Or does it? Yeah, game ends turn 5, yeah. So, and it ends with, I have 9 points and my opponent has 10. So essentially, I have lost 2 games and drawn 1. But really I expected that with this list because I've been testing it out. It's been a good experience. I've had a variety of people to play against. And to be honest, the 2 games that I've lost by 1 victory point. So I'm pretty pleased with that, to be honest. I'm pretty well set up for tomorrow. I've got... I'm down the table, so I'm probably playing people who haven't won many games either. But I'm also well set up for a positive victory point count back. However, to be honest, with that game I was kind of miffed, if I'm being realistic, because that quad gun thing cost me the game.
Yeah, it did.
Because he has the 5 flyers, I've got the interceptor, I've got...
And of course, that's why he pulled that rule up.
Yeah. I'm still recording, mate, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, so... I'd have had the invulnerable save against the Helldrake, so it would have been able to keep him alive. I've got the 4 shots that are probably all hitting. And really all I needed was 1 more kill, and I could easily have got that off a Night Scythe. On average, I'm killing a Night Scythe. Mostly, especially with the Interceptor. So, that definitely annoyed me. Now, we've just checked through a rules pack. We're not entirely sure whether we've got 2 games tomorrow or 3. So, that means the next recording will probably come from after the event itself.
Yeah, because we're going to be unsure on what we're
actually doing tomorrow.
So that'll be a relative surprise.
Yep. Keep us on our toes. Yeah. Let's get on to that.
Till tomorrow.
Hello there, welcome back to Steel City Voxcast. Me and Swifthand are currently on our way back from Stockport after the Toy Soldier tournament. We've only had 2 games today, rather than 3. It was kind of confusing in rules pack. Delving straight into it. Were there any armies that we saw quite a lot of today? What would you say is popular on the tournament scene?
I would say...
I may have hinted to this on Facebook earlier.
Yes, yes I did. Yes, I would definitely say the armies that I have seen today are Tau and Eldar.
Oh, what a Tau.
So much Tau.
So much.
And what I did notice, and I've got some photos, is 3 Wraith Knights.
I think that was like Gav Darnley's list, that was only 1 list, but a lot of lists definitely had Wraith Knights in. So Wraith Knights, Riptides galore, Flyers galore. It was free of like cherry picked, and then Allies was obviously cherry picked as well. Armies with 5 Flyers. I faced that one.
Yeah, armies with 5 flying demons. I faced that yesterday.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah, demons were quite a popular army actually, really.
There were quite a lot of demons. What I did notice, there's a lot of blobs. Two up in Vun, re-rolling Vuns, Seer Councils.
That's like brick units, yeah.
Yeah, and with, multiple of the same type of heavy support or unit.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, when you say blobs, you confuse me a bit there, because I run a guard blob, as you know. Like
rather than a blob, I would
kind of like a brick unit, yeah.
Yeah, I would say brick, yeah. Death Star.
Yeah, there you go, bang on. It's just I didn't really see many blobs, actually. I think there were 3 main players that really ran blobs. There was me, and there was VJ, and there was Dave, who dropped out after day 1.
Yes.
I don't think he was having too much fun. But there were a couple of lines that weren't seen very often. Imperial Guards, surprisingly, weren't too common, were they?
No, I think we do believe there was one Imperial Guards. There was no pois orcs.
There was 1 orc player.
Was there?
Yep, I was basically following him around all day. Because
right, well, okay then. So one orc, so there was 1 orc. I think there were 1 or 2 Dark Eldar.
Were there?
I think I saw 1 Dark Eldar.
Yep. There were more Sister Battle players than there were Dark Eldar Orc and Imperial Guard players.
Yes, there was actually 2 Sisters of Battle players, which is crazy.
A couple of Dark Angel players as well.
Oh yes, yeah, Dark Angel.
So would you say the first 5 codices, the last 5 codices were quite well represented, really? Dark Angels were well represented, considering they're not particularly popular.
Yep.
And Chaos Marines are featured quite a lot, but always with allies, really. I don't think there was a pure Chaos Marine list there. So, delving into day 2, coming back into day 2, Swifthound, you were on 2 wins and a loss.
Yeah.
And I was on a draw and 2 losses.
Yeah.
I was squandering the bottom tables.
Yeah.
So, do you want to go through your first game, Swifthound?
Yes, I'll go through my first game.
What was the mission and who were you playing as well?
Okay, the mission was, I do believe, the deployment.
Big guns never tire.
Yes, big guns never tire, and
5 objectives.
and hammer and anvil.
Yeah.
And with luck that would have it, the opponent that had 2 Land Raiders.
Hey, it's not like you've dealt with those before.
No, it was just perfect for the mission type. But it wasn't just that, because he was actually a Dark Angels player, and he'd taken the banner, so he'd have 4 bolter shots, and both for his Land Raiders were Land Raider Crusaders.
Yeah.
So that meant he had a lot of bolter shots.
Yeah.
In fact, barring his whirlwind, his longest range weaponry was 24 inch. He had 2 squads of bikes, put 1 in outflanking. I set up my guys in southern scenery and further behind. And hilariously, there was no kills on the first turn. And on the second turn...
Just a theme with you and Land Raider armies, isn't it? Not much dies.
And on the second turn, we had 1 Dark Angel casualty, and I think I had 2 kills on my one of my henchwomen squads. It was a really interestingly dull first 2 turns. Basically, where pre-measuring was done to the maximum. I had reservations on pre-measuring myself. I believe if you're trying to look at realism, that you can't be getting a massive stick out while you're in a war and measuring.
My opinion really is on that matter, that if you're a super soldier who is bred for nothing but war, you should be able to know how far your gun
That's
can fire.
true, but a Gretchen wouldn't.
No, a Gretchen wouldn't.
So, I think maybe there should be a special rule for certain
armies.
Certain armies or certain units.
Just not tell.
Not tell. But anyway,
you're all in range anyway.
So it was pre-measured to the maximum, and which was fine. That's what you do. Is what we're allowed to, and it meant that
it meant you could keep out of range, really.
So basically, kept most of the things out of range, and by turn 3, he'd outflanked. He took out some of his squad, but I obviously blasted it because he was outflanking. I blasted his bikes apart because he ran some bikes into me, and that seemed to be okay. So that was it for turn 3. Turn 4, he moved 1 tank up, and so I shot 10 crack missiles and 5 las cannons re-rolling into them, and I managed to knock 1 hull point off and cause it to not do a 3 on damage chart. So
plus
can't
1
move
because the last cannon. So.
Yeah, I don't know if I can roll a 2, so can't move on.
You stunned it.
Yeah, stunned it basically, which wasn't brilliant, but anyway, he'd been planning right from the beginning. It was a game on 5 turns. Bearing in mind, not much shot, and but because the pace of the game meant that there was only a quarter of an hour left, and so he said, "Oh, we better finish on turn 5." Okay, we started turn 5. He moved his tanks up onto the relics, onto objectives, and I was unable to destroy anything with a full salvo of long fangs, barring knocking 1 weapon off. I shunted my dreadnought, which then proceeded to get shot.
Were you going second one, sorry?
No, I'm first, so it's turn 5. So I shunted, because I knew we didn't have the time, shunted my dreadnought and ran what was left of one of my squads into objective. At that point I was holding 2 holding 3, and there were 5 objectives, and he basically chucked on his dropped his crusaders on the objectives, took out my dreadnought with so much bolter fire, it was unbelievable, and that basically ended the game. It ended up in winning 3-2.
So 30-0 was it?
30-0. Now, what I would like to point out is it's quite interesting, the scoring system for this tournament. The fact of the matter is, we
should probably explain this. I might cut and paste this and put it at the front, actually.
Basically, the way the scoring system works is if you win the game, you win 30, primary objective.
Yeah.
If you win the primary but the opponent wins the secondary, it's 25-5, and then a draw is 15. And
essentially, yeah. It's, if you win the game and you win it solely on the basis of primary objectives, you get a 30-0 win.
Yeah.
And if you win the game but you draw on the primary objectives and you need the secondaries to win, you get 25-5. And if you win the game but you lose a primary objective, you get a 20-10.
So it effectively meant that I lost 3-2 and got 0 points.
I think the problem with the scoring system really is it really does not reflect the true nature of the game.
Yes.
Because you were 1 point off there.
Yep, 1 point off.
Yet still, you do not get any points from that
game. I got 0 points for that for the scoring system. However, it was 3-2.
Yeah.
So I suppose it doesn't reflect it. And you've got to imagine in ongoing games, it really need maybe a different system that would be able to compensate for that. However, anyway, so I was left at the end of the game feeling. It was a fair chap. It wasn't. It was
just very precise.
It was just extremely precise, and he knew that it was going to move out turn 5.
Yeah.
Whether or not you could say it was slow playing, I don't know. But regardless, it meant that I knew right from the beginning that I was at a major disadvantage.
I mean, to be honest, that's a horrific matchup for your list, really. I mean, obviously he's got the Land Raiders that can score, but because he's got all this devastation that he can cause with his banner of devastation,
I cannot get close.
Yeah, you can't get close enough to actually. Whereas day 1 was kind of about durability to an extent, because you need to be able to sit on your own objective and contest others and hold the relic and kill points and stuff. Day 2 was definitely about board control.
Yes.
And what his army did very well was board control, because you did not want to get close to him. He could manipulate areas of the board so that you couldn't come into them, like on the objectives, and you got a bit unlucky with the Land Raiders.
Yes, simple as that. He was able to dominate. While as I suppose you could compare it my armour to like a scorpion with a nasty sting.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is certainly not the durability in terms of manoeuvrability and control. He definitely excelled at 24-inch range combat.
Yeah.
And there's nothing I could do against that, unfortunately.
No. If you had Land Raiders of your own, it might have been.
Might have been different, yeah. And certainly if I had something that was able to ignore cover, an armour pen decently as well, or a flyer, that would have been totally different because he had nothing to combat a flyer.
Yeah. So,
okay then.
Essentially, you are slap bang in the middle of the tables now with 2 wins and 2 losses.
Yep, 2 wins, 2 losses. I'm not feeling too bad at this point. I'm thinking, fair enough. I'm not done bad. Let's see how the fifth and final game goes.
Yep.
Over to you.
So well, given that I lost 2 games in a row.
The first exit from the roundabout in half a mile and follow the E6.
Okay, given that I have lost 2 games and drawn 1. I was expecting something a little bit easier than what I hadn't gotten. To be honest, I still your matchup was really hard given the mission and the army. It was a very difficult army for you. I was playing Gary Morgan. He's a veteran of the Welsh International.
The first exit from the roundabout in 400 yards and follow the E6.
He's a veteran of the Welsh International team. He went to the Caledonian Uprising, which is a tournament in January, another one of the big tournaments. It's probably bigger than... In fact, about 120 people attend. Yeah, and he came 8th. So, he's a pretty good player. He was running a Grey Knight army, which is the same as what he ran at Cali, and what he's taking to the European Team Championships in Serbia. He had Kotias. He had a solo paladin with big ass hammer. He had 2 squads of purifiers. He had 5 squads of.
Please follow the road for 3 miles.
5 squads of strike marines with psi cannons, one of which had a hammer, and I forgot that the purifiers had 2 psi cannons each. So he had 9 psi cannons in his army, which got strength 7 rending. He had, what else did he have? He had 3 Siphonman dreadnoughts, which are dreadnoughts with 2 twin auto cannons and Cybalt ammo to make them strength 8. He had an Aegis defense line with a quad gun, and then as transports he had 7 Razorbacks with heavy bolters and Cybalt ammo firing off strength 6 shots. So essentially it would be difficult for me to lock down his shooting. I tried to stack the middle of the board with the objectives, because although he would win a close range firefight, if you could get into his lines and start messing himself up, it was basically a game for me. I won the roll off the first turn and gave it to him, because he wanted the last turn objective grab. And I deployed a little bit further back so that he wouldn't be able to get my blood letters and all sorts of other gubbins with his strength 5 bolters. Turn 1 he shoots, he kills my quad gun, that's about all. I charge my spawn up. He's also been quite aggressive with one of his Razorbacks to try and block my way through. And I charge some spawn to it and kill it for first blood, along with my Land Raider on the right, also doing the same, killing another Razorback and killing a Grey Knight in the explosion. Essentially then comes down to I'm ploughing up the left flank with my spawn and Land Raider. On the right flank I've got the spawn coming up. And try to target as much of his shooting as I can, knock it out as quickly as I can so that I've got time to jump the objectives. It's all going well. I charge into
Please take the second exit from the roundabout in 1 mile and follow the E6.
I charge my Bloodthirster into Kotias' squad. I forget that he has a just a car, so it takes me 3 rounds of combat to get through that. And although I did kill Kotias against Label Warlord, he jumps out and he just gets shot by everything. So my Bloodthirster goes down after killing Kotias and my squad of purifiers, yeah.
Which was his HQ?
Warlord, yes.
Interesting.
How so?
Did he have Drago?
He didn't know.
Oh, I've got Drago.
Yeah, everyone has Drago. Yeah, Drago's a bit expensive for an AP3 sword.
Yeah.
I also came out with my leftmost Land Raider and charged into 2 different squads. I had a spawn with 1 wound left, so I ate
Take the second exit from the roundabout in 400 yards and follow the E06.
So what I did was I darted out from behind a piece of impassable terrain and issued a charge onto his purifiers with him. He ate the Overwatch and my Chaos Lord came in behind with his Axe of Blind Fury. And then my other Marine squad darted into his Strike Marines and knocked a few out. Basically, at this point, I was confident I'd have a game. Until something terrible happened. My Lord, who had charged his Strike Marine squad, purifiers even, challenged his Justicar, got 11 attacks, which is the maximum you can get with your demon weapon, hit 11 times, and brutally murdered the Justicar. As a reward for brutally murdering the Justicar so hard, he got turned into a spawn. This meant that now all the stuff that I had covering this objective on the left was a spawn and about 4 Chaos Marines, rather than a Lord with an Axe of Blind Fury who's just slaughtering his way through lots of grenades.
It's a wonderful reward, that, isn't it?
It was.
As is the unpredictability.
It was horrible. It was absolutely horrible. I would anything but Dark Apotheosis or spawning, and I got the spawning. Even Dark Apotheosis would have been okay. So the spawn eventually gets out of his, kills the squad, just about, somehow, and then gets shot as well. So now it comes down to, I am unable to really, I don't really have the speed to contest his objectives. I've got 2 objectives on my side of the board. One is being held by the blood fighters, which are ready to dart out from behind the edge line. It's about 7 inches, so I need really bad rolls not to get it.
Yep.
And I've got Cultists on the other one. He'll wandered on from reserve. But he's got 2 Razorbacks coming back. So he's going to come and tank shot me off of the objective.
Okay.
Which you can't have that, so I double back with my other Land Raider, which only has...
Take the first exit from the roundabout in 400 yards onto the E623.
Which only has 1 hull point left, so I kind of need it back to stay alive to keep my points. I kill one of the Razorbacks eventually with a combination of smashing it in close combat with crack grenades and last cannoning it, whereas the other one immobilises itself on some dangerous terrain trying to get to my cultists. But what it comes down to is I hold 2 objectives, he holds 3 going into the end of turn 5. We know it's going to be the last turn because he was very precise as well. As you'd expect him to be, and I need to
follow the road for 12 miles.
And so I need to contest an objective. He made a wall with his Razorbacks to box in one of the Land Raiders, one with 3 hull points. However, the mistake that he made, because the Land Raiders can't deny in this mission, heavy support choices can only score.
Yes.
They cannot deny. So he had his Strike Marines on some Strike Marines on each of his objectives because he had so many squads. So what I need to do is I've got a Chaos Lord in my Land Raider at the top. He makes a huge mistake that costs him a game. Because he'd forgotten that my Land Raiders can't deny. So what he did was, because he blocked me off one way, he knew I was going to try and turn my Land Raider right, turbo boost onto an objective and try and deny it. So he boosts a Razorback in front of my Land Raider. This leaves my other Land Raider in a perfect position. I come round 6 inches, disembark the Lord, run a little bit, straight onto his objective, contest it, and we draw on primary. I then have First Blood, and I have Slave Lord for killing KOTS. So I win the game 8-6.
Yes.
Just about winning it 25-5. So I have redeemed myself somewhat. Being Gary, and now I'm on 1 win, a draw, and 2 losses going into the final game. So,
okay,
your game.
My,
final game of the event.
My final game of the event. Now, like I say, I'd left game 4 not feeling too bad. I mean, apprehensive, I suppose, of realising that there was serious weaknesses to my army, basically. That if you shoot lots of pins and needles at me, it's going to bite. It's going to take me down.
Yeah. I did notice that you almost actually played Dave Walker, actually, who is the best towel player in the country. You sat down across him from him at one point.
Okay. So, I mean, well, let's put a bit of context into here. I've been playing 40k for quite a while, but I've not really played it at competitive levels. And
this was your first tournament, really,
my first major tournament, yeah. And so I wanted to make everybody back at SCW, you know, feel proud that we're holding the banner and do the best that we can to represent our club. So I went into this game feeling a bit apprehensive, thinking, right, I really don't need. I want to have a win to end it 3-2.
Yeah.
And Lady Luck was definitely not on my side again when it came to our final game, because our final game was Mission 5.
Which was Scouring.
Yeah, Scouring. Which
corner deployment.
Yes. And the guy I was playing against was a Eldar player. He was running 5 Wave Serpents. And a...
That's a nice way to start to every day, isn't it?
Yeah.
5 Wave Serpents.
5 Wave Serpents, yeah, and all with shields, shooting shields.
Hollow fields,
yeah.
All that business.
All the shebang, yeah, and a Wraith Knight. And a brick. Another brick again.
This is the brick.
Farseer Council. And he'd miraculously rolled his perfect rolls and got it so that he would have a 2 up with a
rerollable armor save.
Yeah, with rerollable armor save. So basically 2 up, 4 up, or 3 up depending if he were a cover. There was some other rule for it. Effectively made him brilliant. So. Right, where do I start? In turn 1, we set up. Okay, I was set to go first, which he done again, clever measuring, and was out of range of all my long fangs and anything. So I knew turn 1 would be a mute turn, and we had night fighting as well. So in the first turn, nothing happened other than a bit of manoeuvring from his end. Our guys were still holding his ground, looking at each other, twitching, and getting ready. So by turn 2, he then made the decision to start moving towards the objectives. I suppose a bit of luck on my side was that I was holding within my area, not far off 8 of the 8 points worth of the stuff. So you could say that if I held them 3 objectives, I would be. Holding the prime objective. Bearing in mind, if the other 3 that were close to him was more, I would be in a difficult situation with just having men moving around slowly. Anyway, so on this turn I shot a grand total of 5 last cannons with rerolls and 10 crack missiles into his Wave Serpents. Totally ignoring the Riptide for now. Not Riptide, Wraith Knight for now. Because I knew that he'd only got the 2 land shots. So 2 shots can't really take out that much. I've got no vehicles. So in actual fact, one good thing about me having a foot slogging army is that the Wraith Knights, if they're not going to take an explosion template, aren't really that much use. No. Especially when you're shooting my Wolf Guard at the front. Anyway, so in all that shooting, 15 shots, I managed to immobilise 1 Wave Serpent. On the 5 last cannons with rerolls, I hit twice. I penned once, and he saved it because he had hollow fields.
Did he fire a shield in the previous turn?
No.
Okay, so what you can do with Wave Serpents is you convert penetrating hits down to a glancing hit.
Yeah.
If you hadn't fired a shield, so.
So it basically meant it nullified that. I did, like I say, I did take out 1 and immobilised it. End of my turn 2 shooting. He came up now with his Farseer Council moving 48 inch, and I knew that in turn 3 I would have to deal with them. This would be the turn that makes or breaks the game. So his turn 3, his turn 3,
Yep.
his council move forwards to my troops. Bearing in mind, yes, I've got a bit of protection at the front of my troops, but generally speaking, if you're going to shoot enough at them, they're going to die. And he shot me with quite a lot of shots and took out practically an entire squad of henchmen. So that meant that was that down. And he'd shot me with a lot of his shields, because you were further, obviously, out of 36 inch range.
And was he twin linking them with scatter lasers?
Oh, he was doing all that shebang, yes. He was shooting his scat laser first to get twin link for everything.
Yeah.
And basically meant that he could get some serious shots in. But anyway, what did he do? Yeah, his Farseer Council took out them, and I can't think of the word for it. So I think when he disorganised charge on two squads.
Multi-charge.
Yeah, multi-charged. One of my Grey Hunter squads, but because of shield pins, it meant that I went to initiative 1. So you can imagine how it was going. Now I was desperate at this point. I was thinking, I'm going to lose 2 troops out of my 4. I'm only going to hold 2 objectives. I am not going to win objectives against his five troops that was sitting pretty in his tanks. That were now close to all on 3 of the objectives. So I did another round of shooting. It was a bit better. Oh, sorry. In the previous turn, I'd shunted, in my desperation, I'd shunted my Dread Knight right behind his Wraith Knight, which was next to 2 tanks.
Does he have a force weapon?
No.
Oh, that's disappointing. You should have a force weapon. Basic Grey Knights have force weapons.
Oh no, mine does. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
No. Of Dread Knight. I thought you meant his.
The Wraith Knight now.
Yeah, the Wraith Knight now.
Yeah,
No, it had his 2 guns. No, so I will find Doomfist, everything else, and sword. And so I thought, oh, this is fine. Still do it. He can't. His tanks aren't low in AP, so I thought I had this in the bag. So anyway, shot with my flamer and it caused a glancing hit on one of the Wave Serpents. And bearing in mind these Wave Serpents all had a 4 pins on, and shot him with everything else with long fangs, didn't do much. And this is where I started panicking now. His turn 3 was devastating. He wiped out the remains of the 2 troops, the troops that he charged, and I fluffed all my, well, not all, I fluffed some of my Rune Priest rolls. Bearing in mind, note, I'd actually learned from my second game and made sure that my Rune Priest nullified on a 4-up all his psychic powers, because he was within range at this point. But the one psychic power that meant a lot, which was to reroll,
was it?
I failed and I got a 1, and that was the turning point of the game. And I knew from that end on, that's it, because he would then, after killing him in close combat, consolidate, and I wouldn't be able to kill them and get to the remaining 2 troops. And to top it off, unbelievably, bearing in mind I'd actually given, with Courtiers, given my Dread Knight a 4-pin fun before he shunted. So I'm feeling pretty confident. Yeah, pretty good manoeuvre, good tactic. He turned around with his Wraith Knight and shot me and scored a 6 on the wounding.
Oh, lucky. That's a distort rule, isn't it?
Yeah, and I then got a 1 for my saving throw.
Oh, that's bad.
So if you can imagine it, 2 flanks, one on the left hand side was with his Dread Knight and my Wraith Knight, on the other side was his Farseer Council, and to lose them flanks to 2 dice rolls, getting 2 1s, that was it.
That cost you.
That cost me. That were it. That meant that there was nothing that could take out. So anyway, I carried on playing. Turn 4. Was I on turn 4?
Yeah. You think I was just turn 4? Yeah.
Yeah. Turn 4. On turn 4, I shot and just because I wanted to, shot and killed his Wraith Knight with 5 las cannons.
Got vengeance.
Got vengeance. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's I think, and he that was about it really. Did a bit more shooting. I destroyed, I don't know why I was able to now, but destroyed a wave serpent. I wish I did that earlier. And immobilised another one. So from his original 5.
How are you managing to immobilise a wave serpent? Oh, because he's firing shields.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
This would be fun for these people, this tractor.
So yeah, immobilised them because they weren't moving, so they weren't going to be wrecked or anything. They didn't flat out or anything.
No.
So moving on to his turn 4. He then took out again another. He did a messy charge because I obviously, as I always do, relatively speaking, keep my one of my Grey Knight squads near my henchwomen, just for supporting close combat if they get charged. And he basically took them out with his brick, and with my 4 troops all but obliterated. Turn 5 was a dead cert. He then covered all but 1. He took 4. I had nothing left to take any, and he obviously had 3 table quarters, and therefore it was a blasting victory to him. Yeah. And it made me really realise about outmanoeuvrability, that with them vehicles and the way that Eldar are now, with their invuns on vehicles, it meant that I've got a serious disadvantage. Although I have the firepower and the punch, and we know it worked because yesterday I 15 kill points to 1. I really wiped them out. Today made me realise that it's not just about packing a punch, it's about manoeuvrability as well. And when I'm rushing to relics, rushing to objectives, you can't beat wave serpents by running.
No, not at all.
So there we go.
So first game you got 25 points from. Second game you got no points from.
Yep.
Third game you got 30 points from.
Yep.
Fourth game you got 5 points from one of the games in there. Which other games did you get 5 points from?
Second game.
Oh, it's did you?
Game 4.
Okay, you got 5 points from 4 games,
Yeah.
Fourth game, and nothing from third game, so you finish on 60 points.
Yes.
Which is respectable. 2 wins and 3 losses in that calibre of tournament is really good, actually, to be honest.
Okay, thank you.
I mean, when you're on bottom tables and you're still playing ETC players, then
yeah, okay, fair enough.
It's a really, really tough tournament, and you did really well.
Oh, well, thank you.
It was your first tournament as well, wasn't it? Really?
Yes. Yeah,
major one. So yeah, really good.
I mean, I suppose in your head you're like, oh, I'd like to have more wins and losses, free to.
Yeah.
But looking at it at that point of view, with the calibre that these people were playing, and although, and some people will probably say that my army is slightly spammy with my 3 long fangs.
Nah, most of the armies were, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah. I mean, at a club point of view, looking at my army compared to other people's armies made my army look like a fun army.
Yeah.
A lot of them armies were really kitted out to cherry pick the best units, which shows the scope of basically what happens in tournaments.
It's not all tournaments really. I mean, the ETC is coming up.
Yeah.
It is the biggest tournament on the planet, and people are flying to Serbia to represent their countries, and they want to practice with the list that they are taking.
Oh yeah.
So,
it's not a dig. It's
oh no.
It's a
It's just
realization.
showing how tough it is. Yeah.
It's basically I want to emphasise that if you're taking an army it's going towards being competitive, but isn't as cherry picked as other ones, you're at a major disadvantage.
Yeah.
When you again can face armies with 5 flyers, good luck.
Speaking about armies that are ignoring Heldrakes and stuff, I'm playing a game.
Yeah.
That's not to say I'm handicapping myself, I just wanted to try and make a core army that didn't finish on the bottom table every game. But you finished Oh wait, we'll come to that later, won't we? Yeah.
Okay.
We'll come to that in a second, right after this. Now, when the draw was first made, I was meant to be playing your third round opponent even.
Yeah, the one who I
smashed.
Yeah.
he was a lovely guy.
Yes.
He's a very nice guy. But we had a bit of an issue. There was on the table next to us the two people.
Please turn left in 400 yards onto the E625.
The two people that were playing on the left of us had already played each other. So they reorganised the things, and instead of playing two broadsides, and one hammerhead and one riptide, and quite a nicely balanced tower army, we army swapped, and another tower army appears. And now, it had an ethereal, it had a commander with drone controller, iridium armour, all that kind of business, and he was in a squad of 6 marker drones. We had 2 on himself, a squad of 4 from fast attack.
Please turn right in 200 yards and follow the E625.
Yep. He had 4 units of group, 3 with hounds. He was outflanking the 3 with hounds, and one was in reserve.
Now turn right.
There we are. He then also
Please
had...
follow the road for 4 miles.
Apart from that, we're now getting into the gritty. He had 3 riptides with twin link fusion blasters.
That's a singular AP, strength 10
It's
AP.
a Malagón with 18 inch range,
Yeah.
but he can also Nova Charge to get a second win.
Yep.
Every turn. And then he had 3 units of 3 broadsides with missiles, each of which were churning out 24 shots, half of which ignored cover and line of sight, twin linked. So he was churning out 72 shots a turn.
Yes.
With those broadsides allowed. It was an
Which
interesting game.
I suppose that makes my long fangs look like nothing, doesn't it?
I mean, he was a lovely guy. I really enjoyed that game actually. Because to be honest, when he arrived, I was like, yeah, I've not won this. So my objective really here was all about border control again. So what I need to do was I need to shut down his long range firepower, because that's how to keep border control. Shut down, which mainly came in the form of the broadsides, because they're the ones that caught my infantry. Again, I won the roll off for the first turn, I took the second turn, which may seem madness to get the town, but I want the jump, because if I get out my land raiders on the objectives, he'll just purge me. So I was playing for a turn 5 win again. I sit a land raider behind an ancient defence line, and my spawn about to go into the middle. There's a big line of sight blocking piece of terrain in the centre of the board that you can go into.
Yeah.
So I was going to run my spawn into that. Now, I'll make a bit of a mistake. I run my spawn into this ruin with the hope of next turn I'm going to charge one of his broadside units and tie him up, because we're not going to beat me in combat. Or maybe even charge him off the board. I'd forgotten about his SMS, which are the smart missiles which ignore a line of sight and cover. So he just blasts the spawn straight off the board.
Purely because although they haven't got any AP, you don't get a save anyway.
I don't get a save. They're AP 5.
Yeah.
Straight 5 AP 5.
Yeah.
They need 6 to wound. But when we're twin linked and you get that many shots, you're gonna knock me off the board.
Indeed.
So he's got first blood and he's got a point for killing a fast attack unit. So I'm like, right, okay, I'm just gonna have a bit of a laugh here. It's the last game of the tournament. I'm gonna end it on a good note. I don't really care about winning so long as I have a good time with this last game. So I drive. He's struck my land raider a bit and stunned it, so I just charge straight forward. It explodes. He killed most of the guys inside. I've got a.
What did he kill it? Well, how did he explode it? What did he kill?
The riptides.
Of course, strength 10.
Yeah, because I barreled forward because I was going to die next turn anyway.
Yeah.
Then he had the 2 twin-linked fusion blasters.
Yep.
Which went straight into me and bam, it's gone.
Yeah.
It took 2 to take it down though, which I was pleased with. So I barrel out the side. I've got 2 marines and a lord left with 2 wounds. And I charge into one of his broadside units, but because he's got support fire, which means that everyone within 6 inches overwatches, I split the squad apart, charge him with 2 marines first.
Yep.
They die to the overwatch, and then the Corn Lord gets in. He then kills 2 broadsides.
Okay.
Which is okay, so I stay locked in because he gets insane heroism for his roll for leadership checks.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm backing him in his back lines. His crew all come on. The Bloodthirster kills 1 squad, the Spawn kill another, eventually.
Yeah.
of a squad. And essentially, what it comes down to is, my lord dies. He kills the rest of the squad, but he dies to Overwatch on a second charge into another squad of broadsides.
Comes back to the situation with Tau, in the sense of, yes, Tau aren't a close combat army because they have the best shooting in the game.
Yeah.
However, rather than just leave it to the point that they aren't very good in close combat, they've made it practically impossible, if you play an army well, to charge them either.
Yeah.
Purely with the amount of 5-up or indeed in some cases normal BS shots.
Yeah.
And other squads overwatching too as well.
Yeah.
So in actual fact, what they've actually done is, rather than just make them, here's a brilliant shooting army and they're right the crap in close combat, they've actually made it, here's a brilliant shooting army that you can't charge.
Yeah, but to be honest, I was doing my best to manipulate his Overwatch. For example, in the first example, I've hidden my lord behind a wall. Yeah. So only the unit that I'm charging at can see him should he declare the Overwatch I fail my charge.
Yes.
And then with the second one, he moves the Marklights up to cover for support fire for his Ethereal's broadside squad. Mm-hmm. So I go around the back and go after his backman.
Okay.
So he only gets 2 broadside units put on him, but it's still enough to kill him with his last wound. So what it comes down to is, I'm going for the turn 5 wound. I'm still up for it. What I need to do is I need to move 15 inches with my spawn.
Yep.
Who ignore cover onto a 4-point objective.
Yes.
And I need to pass a dangerous terrain check from a land raider.
Yep.
And make a 2-inch run move with my lord.
Yes.
I do both those things. So as it stands,
please take the exit right in 300 yards.
So as it stands, after 5 turns, I'm winning 10-7.
Yes.
I've lost all stuff in he has, but I've played the mission because it's Tau. I just smashed straight onto the stuff.
Exit right.
Unfortunately, the game does not end there, which is interesting because every single game that I played this weekend, barring the kill points mission, I would have won. It's free, mate. Fine. Every single mission that I played, barring the kill points mission this weekend,
Please follow the road for 4 miles.
I would have won the game on turn 5. Every single one. My army just seems to do well at turn 5 missions. I should start slow playing people. So it doesn't end there, and obviously I'm a bit disappointed. So he's about to start smashing my stuff. He Nova charges his Dreadknights. Dreadknights? Riptides, I'm playing you too much. And for the 4d6 jump shoot jump, so he can jump straight into my objectives and contest them. He jumps on a 4-pointer and kills 2 of the spawns, so I've got 1 spawn left. He doesn't knock me off any of the others, however, it does contest my 3-point objective that the Cultists are holding. With a Riptide which has 3 wounds, I should have killed the Riptide by now, the 2 remaining are on 3 wounds. So, what I'm now doing is I'm just trying to have a bit of a laugh and running stuff into stuff because basically, I shook his hand after turn 5. We didn't end the game there, but it was basically game over. So I start shooting at this Riptide on my 3-point objective. I take 2 wounds off it, so it's on 1 wound, so I can sniff hope. I then charge the Cultists and the Bloodletters, which have AP-free weapons now, into this Riptide, and it's got 8 wounds and kill it.
Did he roll a 1?
He did roll a 1 after the second save. So I got my 3-point objective back. Now what I've done is move my spawn over to try and contest this 3-point objective that is crew are holding. So now I've got the upper hand again because I'm drawing because I've got Line Breaker. If I make a 7-inch charge with Fleet, I contest the objective because he didn't kill me on Overwatch, and I win the game. 7-4. I fail on turn 6, provided the game ends.
Okay.
I fail the charge.
By the way, can you actually flank a Terminator?
What do you mean?
Can a Terminator go into flank?
Outflank?
Yeah.
They don't have the outflank rule per se, but...
No, but if you HQ is a Terminator and they get given the Terminator outflank, can they outflank?
Yeah, because we've got the outflank special rule.
Even if they're right, because the last guy who I played, he said to me, I can't flank because it's a Terminator.
Space Marines!
That would have made a major difference with his council.
Yeah.
Because I'd have tripped my room priest up.
You should have asked for a rule reference, mate, but...
Yeah, it's my fault for being too happy-go-lucky.
For trusting people too much.
Yes.
Yeah. I did exactly the same thing, though, to be fair. Maybe you thought you couldn't.
Anyway.
Because it's kind of beefy, but... right, so anyway. As it stands at the end of Term 6, we're drawing 7-0, and the game does end. We play on anyway, just for giggles, and I would have lost on Turn 7. So, to be honest, I'm not too disappointed that I didn't win the last game, because although I had an ample opportunity to win it, obviously the failing of the 7-inch charge, which was unlucky with Fleet, and then the not ending on Turn 5, did cost me the game, but I really enjoyed that last game specifically, and it was probably better than my last 2 games actually, so... You know, I was okay with a draw, to be honest. So I've got 1 win, 2 draws, and 2 losses in the end. Okay.
Okay.
Yep.
So.
Right. So, you've obviously finished on 60 points.
Yes.
Which meant that you came. Would you like to tell everyone where you came?
Yes.
Or would you like to?
Okay. I came 24th out of 34.
Which isn't too bad, really.
Okay. It's just marginally below the middle area, and it's not that bad. I mean, and considering it's my first tournament as well, and it's with an army that isn't over the top competitive army.
No.
I suppose I am proud.
Please turn right.
I have tried my best, and so 60 points. And the funny thing is if you go through your points, you'll see how many close we were on our points.
No, mate, don't turn right. Don't turn right, it's wrong. The sat-nav's telling you wrong. So, really... Oh, there's Gergus, I have no idea what he's doing there. He's a kid from my old school. That was weird. So, essentially, because I've got points from every game, in my 2 losses, I lost by 1 victory point, and I got 5 points from each.
Yeah.
Because
I suspect in my last game that I lost a lot of victory points.
Yeah. Please turn right.
I mean, I didn't lose the primary objective all tournament.
Yeah.
So, I'm really pleased with that, to be honest, especially with my.
Now turn right.
It doesn't matter, mate. You can have going on the next one. It's fine. So, I've got 2 lots of 5 points, 2 lots of 15, and 1 lot of 20.
Please make a U-turn
25
now.
even. No, don't. Shut up, Santa. You can turn right at the end of this road. So I have finished.
Please turn right in 180 yards.
No, I'm just going to leave it for a bit while I'm still talking. So I finish on 70 points, and I finish 19th.
Now turn right.
God damn you!
Say it again.
Right, okay, I'm waiting because. Okay, right. Okay, we're at traffic lights. It's okay, the sat nav is not going to talk. So I finished on 70 points. I finished 19th out of 34, which I was really pleased with considering my first day's performance. But it was also kind of ironic, really, because on the way here, when we weren't recording, I was saying my target for the day is going to be a difficult target. I want a draw and a win.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what I got. So I was pleased with day 4, really. And we both finished respectably, really.
Yeah. It's a bittersweet because on one end I've learned a lot, and I've won 2 games, which is commendable.
You won more games than I did.
I mean, obviously it's the way that the point structures work for the game, which you've already gone through on as misgivings with. It basically meant that even though I had 2 wins, it didn't put me higher up, which is fine because obviously that's the way things should be.
Yeah.
However, I did have fun, and I suppose for my first tournament, and considering the amount of all these national players and international players, I should be quite happy at that fact.
Yeah.
And I have learned a lot of my strengths, seen a lot of my strengths, and I've learned from it. So in actual fact, yes, it was good. Yeah, so obviously I shall summarise what I have learned.
Just very quickly, because I do need to jump out. So, what's the top couple of things that you've learned, really?
Okay, first of all,
we can pause out at the end of the road if you want, just to finish this off, or do you want to?
I need to get back quick.
Okay, sorry, quick, go.
Okay, so the two main things I've learned is, one, I need more manoeuvrability. I need more than just my Dreadnought. I need a vehicle that can give me some manoeuvrability and can durability for my troops. My troops seem to be easy pickings if they get shot at quite a lot. So I need to relook at that, and so I'm looking at an Aegis line for that. And I'm going to drop a bit on fluff on, well, bling on the Terminators. My other thing that I've learnt as well is to, again, reconsider board presence or board control. Need to consider about having maybe something, one big beefy thing. One big beefy thing. So it may be that I look at an Aegis line and a Land Raider. Okay. Okay, so I'm just going to go through very quickly the two main things that I learned, because we all need to go.
120 yards.
First off, corner's fun. Every single one of my games was extremely close. The biggest gap was 2 victory points, and they were secondaries. And secondly, it's okay to be cagey with it. It's a really close combat. I'm mainly the threat of it being there. I've got 7 really hard-hitting, really quick units.
Right in 200 yards
that can
into
make
your designated road.
that can make 24-inch charges every turn. Really. So it's been a good event. I've enjoyed it. Have you enjoyed it?
I've enjoyed it.
Excellent. And I'll see you at the club on Friday.
Alright, yes, for another week.
Yep. See you later.
Ta-ra.
Right everyone, that is it for today. I hope you have enjoyed the show. I would like to quickly reiterate that if you would like to be a part of the team here at Steel City Voxcast, please contact me at tomlayton93@gmail.com, and we'd love to have you along. Next time around, we meet 2 new cast members, and we have an in-depth discussion and review of the new Space Marine Codex and all of the units inside it. So I'll see you soon.